started. Hello, Sharon. We missed you last week. It's never the same without you.
Yeah.
All part of my magic. What can I say?
We need some of your spark.
Just
I'll sprinkle some pixie dust your way.
Thank you. All right,
great.
so welcome everyone to week 3. Where has the time gone? It's June 18th already. Time is going by so quickly. And so that's why we're so excited that you chose to make changes in your life while you could. Before we get started, I just want to do a quick check-in. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Because, you know, we're going through a crazy time. We started this group because we want to create a safe, positive space, because all you heard in the news in May or April, March was COVID, corona, negativity. And we just knew that let's use this time of lockdown, shutdown, isolation to move to a better place. And then wham, Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. And this whole social awareness and hopefully shift to where we need to go, where we treat everyone as human beings and embrace everyone for who they bring to the space. And it's exciting what you and your son's doing, Yvonne. So thanks for sharing. And then I don't know if you've been seeing the news of all these companies that were supposed to be here forever that are breaking and falling apart because they weren't able to shift and pivot to reflect the times we're in. And that's why we're so happy that you're in a space where you're decided to change, shift, and pivot. So before we jump any further, how are you feeling with what's going on in the world today? We'll give you a few. You can either throw it in the chat, or like it's still in May, throw it in the chat or share. We'll give you 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna unmute everybody because I muted everyone. Now you're all gonna be unmuted. And I'm also just sending Hazel a message to get her on the audio. Oops.
Okay. And I want to recognize and welcome Sahir. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly, Sahar. Are you hearing us?
So now you guys all have the option. You can click unmute.
Because you just joined. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. This is the second time maybe I use Zoom. Usually we use Skype in Jordan. So just tolerate with me and bear with me with all things happening. So yeah, I'm not sure if I should introduce myself, but I would love to. Since maybe this is the first time you just join me and interview me here.
So if you're able to put your camera on, that would be great.
Yeah, 5 minutes and I'll be, I can do that.
Take your time, we'll get there and we'll help you. And Don, welcome. Oz, welcome. All right, so what's going on? How are you feeling?
Okay, so I'll go off. I am excited. I had a brief moment, and I use a brief moment where I felt like I couldn't function. It was just too much. The isolation, the social distancing, the physical distancing, and then the brutality and the awakening of, I knew it's there. I felt it. I've experienced it. But then to see certain things so blatant, it was painful. And so I decided to change. My change is I'm focused. I'm doing something about it. I'm not going to sit and watch it and worry about it. I'm sick and tired of it, so I'm doing something about it. That's the that I asked my son to collaborate with me. I work with youth. I know how they feel. I've spoken to them. So that's my change. I've also decided to start my business as a youth life coach because I do need to talk to young people. I'm at the point in time in my life right now that older generation, I can't change their mind. They're so set. I try to talk to them and they're so set, not because they're ignorant, but because of lifestyle and cultural differences, that they have ingrained a certain amount of negativity. So therefore, I'm not leaving them out, but I'm working with the youth to build a legacy and a stronger front. The shift is making sure that as much as I'm working hard to do, I'm also taking care of myself. And my pivot is to learn technology, because sometimes I just go outside on my deck, I sit there and I go, because it is, technology is supposed to be easy, but it's not always easy. Like somehow I'm gonna have to make that easy. Clicking the button sometimes doesn't work. So that's my pivot.
You know what, Yvonne, thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that. And that's going to flow right into our agenda for today, because it's all about managing change, embracing change, recognizing where you are, recording, perfect. Recognizing where you are, self-care, recognizing how you're feeling, self-care, because you have to take care of you before you can take care of anyone else. So thank you for doing that. So our agenda for today, as you may have seen, we're going to be talking about, how can I forget? Thank you. We are going to be talking about recognizing where we are. And Jamie's going to walk us through a meditation, which I am so excited about, because of this guided meditation is going to help us focus on what we need to be doing, how we need to be recognizing, and focus, because it's going to be a shift. We need to shift. We need to pivot, and it's all about getting in the right mind frame and mindset. After that, Lisa will be speaking about how do you quantify your success. We're on this success journey together, but how do we go about quantifying to make sure that at the end of the day, when we say we're successful, we can actually have measurements to say, yeah, this is what I did and this is how I know that I'm successful. And then we're going to throw it back at Jamie to talk about the power of community. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to the awesome, mind-shifting Jamie. Jamie. Let's try that again. Jamie.
I appreciate
Lori.
That's
welcome.
Yeah, I super appreciate that. I'm gonna let you know. So I was just messaging Hazel and I sent her a number so that she could dial in. If anyone else is having trouble with their audio, I can send that to you as well. I just sent it to you as well, Andrea and Lisa. If you could directly pass it on to Hazel, because I know she's trying to connect to the audio, and that way she can call in and hear it over her phone, which is a great part about technology. Sahar, it's great to meet you. Great to see you. I'm so excited that you're joining us from Jordan. And that is really cool. We've got a lot of international people and it's very special. And I've got to say, Yvonne, I'm really excited about what you talked about. It sounds like you are passionate. It sounds like you are focused and you're shifting. And the greatest thing that we can do is not try and change others. It's to change ourselves and hope that that inspires change in others. And you were taking that on very powerfully and making a big stance. And I have a lot of respect for that, and I'm excited to see what happens. So please let us know how it's going, share the updates with us, and let us know how we can support you in that, because that's dynamic, and that's what we're all about, right? Being able to change. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't change if you ignore, right? Self-awareness is the number one thing. Right?
Self-awareness or self-awareness?
Yes, self-awareness.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Actually, self-awareness is all about what we're going to do, and that's what I'm trying to do for the current moment, is that I want to enhance my skills and my experience in the HR.
Wonderful.
Where I believe that it's my passion. It's the thing that I'm talented in, but honestly speaking, I have issues with learning something new and with reading books. So the challenge that I want to do, and I want to challenge myself for the 30 days, is to just keep learning new things over LinkedIn Learning.
Beautiful. Well, I've got to tell you, Sahar, you are in the right place. And it's her very first time on the Zoom call. So I'm going to let you know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
We are going to just mute you for a little bit. If you have a pen and paper handy, I recommend that you take notes because we're going to share a lot of valuable information. We're also recording. So for those of you also joining on for the first time, if you want to rewatch any part of this, you can. Make sure you check your emails or let us know so that way you can get a copy of it. I know we also have Lori joining us from her beautiful backyard. And it's her first time as well. So we're going to bring it back at the end and open it back up so that way people have a chance to communicate, to share contact information, share your opinions. We want to know how you're feeling and know what's on your mind and know where you're shifting towards. But I'm going to go ahead and just kind of mute everyone right now. Dun, 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 dun. You are able to unmute yourself whenever you have questions, always. Because how we're going to start off today is by really checking in. So before we get into any of the meta stuff, I just want to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10 to check in with yourself. 1 being the worst, absolutely the worst, and 10 being the absolute best. How calm do you feel today? How calm do you feel right now? How focused do you feel? Just remember that now. What we're going to do is we're going to get you into the state of learning and give you a practice to help you check into your own self-awareness, because the truth is that change cannot happen unless we are aware of where we are. And true evolution, which is to get better, is not just about changing for the sake of change. It's about recognizing what feels best, what is right for us, so we can give ourselves the highest level of respect, the highest level of worth, and that way we can pour it out to others. So I'm going to invite you to join me on a meditation. It'll just be a few minutes long. Here's what I'm going to say. If you're sitting in a chair, if you're sitting down, just sit back, find yourself in a comfortable position. If you want to turn off your camera for this time, you can. That's okay. I'm going to leave this camera on. But I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I'm going to bring you into a meditation. And we're going to start focusing on our breath. As you slowly connect in with your breathing, straighten up your spine. Get the crown of your head to reach for the top of the skies. Slow down your breathing and breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. Again, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. This time, elongate your breath. Bring your breath in for a count of 4. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on with your deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you breathe in, fill your lungs with air and start to bring awareness to the oxygen in your lungs. Give yourself every deep breath and the fullness and deepness of breath that you desire, that you absolutely need for you to feel comfortable in your body. Start to stretch that breath out from 4 seconds to 5. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pushing that air out of your lungs, completely giving in to that lessening of breath. Allow your body to sink down, feel heavy as you exhale and breathe in. Lightening up your body and breathing out. Strengthen and straighten up your spine. Pull your chin in. Tuck your chin in towards your spine, bring the crown of your head up to the top of the sky. Pulling your shoulders back. As you connect in with your breath, focusing on my words and your breath, thoughts will arise. Allow them to. Let them pass and float onwards. For focusing is not on holding tightly to something. It's on releasing any distractions. Focusing and bringing yourself back to your breath and my voice. As these thoughts come up and you release them, check into the peace that you feel as you recognize that you are the thinker of thoughts. You control what holds in your mind, what repeats over and over again in your brain. The ultimate power and that baseline of control where you can release. Revel in the power that exists within your mind. And acknowledge that as thoughts come up, as external inputs come in, there lies a deep peace within you. Focusing again on your breath. Bring it back. This is your time for you. As we literally clean house of our thoughts, check in and release anything that is holding us back from ultimately giving ourselves the respect that we deserve. Each one of us, that means something different. Acknowledge that what you need is right for you. Lead yourself into your greatest sense of being. Lead yourself into a greater sense of awareness. Lead yourself into the greatest future you can possibly have, the greatest peace that you can have. Checking back in with our breath as we take a big deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check into your body as your stomach or possibly even your chest raises as you fill your lungs with air. Check in with your body as you recognize how you're sitting in your sitting bones. Make adjustments at this point. And again, bringing it back to your breath. You control what thoughts you allow inside your head. You allow the words that come out of your mouth. You allow how you show up for yourself. Nobody can make you do anything, for only you have dominion over yourself. When you tap into a highest power, you recognize that nobody can have dominion over you. Softening your breath. Checking again into the deepest part of peace within your heart. Relaxing your breathing as you come back to your conscious body. Filled with a deeper sense of connection to yourself. Coming back to a deeper sense of awareness about your environment. Coming back to a deeper sense of awareness of what you need in order to move forwards. What will serve you at the highest power. Slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Relax your body and open your eyes. I strongly believe that whatever you call to, be it spirituality, be it religion, be it Buddha, be it Jesus, be it God, whatever you call to, acknowledging that there is chaos, that there is a lot happening around us, and that there is also a higher power, a peace within ourselves that exists, and not just exists but connects all of us, helps us evolve towards that, so we can not only be there for ourselves but be there for others, because you cannot expect somebody to respect you if you do not respect yourself. So give yourself what you need first. Pay yourself first. Thank you. Okay, how's everybody feeling? Awesome, Hetal. Hetal says, wow, meditation's always so refreshing. Thank you. So what I'd ask is check in. How calm do you feel? How connected to your body? Right. Check in on that number. Because being aware and being able to quantify, if you thought you were at an 8 now, has it shifted to a 9? What will it take to get you to a 10? I'm excited to have that conversation because today we are talking about not just the feeling, right? Because we're feeling these things, right? Our feeling of awareness, our feeling of connection went up. And we can quantify feelings. We can measure how good we feel, and we can increase that. And that's why I'm super excited to introduce Lisa, who's going to share how to quantify and how to manage through change. Because we're here not just to change, we're here to evolve and get better. And as we do that, we impact the people around us, which is also why I'm super duper proud of our youngest achiever. Lisa, could you remind me, what is your daughter's name again? I'm sorry. Ashlyn, I'm sorry for forgetting your name. But I'm super excited to see you here because it is just the extension. When somebody invites you here, I know that we've had a couple of people join in for the first time, and it's because somebody's inviting you, right? We're extending a part of ourselves when somebody comes in. So Lisa, I'm going to pass it off to you. Ashlyn.
All right. Thanks. All right, everybody, let's get on to today's training. Just bear with me for 1 second to bring up the slideshow.
Jamie, I'm so relaxed. Honestly, if I fall asleep, folks, you know why. Wow.
I thought you had fallen asleep.
No, that was amazing, Jamie. Wow. Thank you so very much. I needed that. Needed it more than I realized I needed it, actually. Wow.
I hear you.
I know we need to do this more often because it is important to center ourselves. And as we were saying about all this change that's going on, I think we need it more than ever. All right, so I want to start off today's training with just going back a little bit from last week, just again reminding about how important it is that we know our why and that we need to dig deeper. Because if we know our why, then commitment to our goals is really, really easy. And it gives us a clear sense of purpose, and that way we can be intentional. When we're intentional, we have a better chance of actually achieving what we set out for. And so that is why it's important that we have that why, and that it motivates us, and it helps us when we're facing challenges, when things get tough. This morning I've started walking. I walk in the morning and I walk after dinner, and it was really hard to get out there today, but I did it because I remembered my why. And so I just want everybody that whatever goal, I mean, we're talking about the 30-day goal right now, but any goal that you set, just dig deep and find out why this goal is important to you. And once you can connect to that, you are able to push through any time that you're struggling when things are just a little bit tougher than normal. So just remember that. All right, so the ladies were talking about change, and I just wanted to really talk about how managing change is really tough. Okay, my slide is not looking proper. I don't know what happened. Anyways, don't worry about it. But I wanted you to remind you that when change happens, it's kind of like a messy closet. And so we've been able to keep that door closed on the closet, which is great that we can do that. But sometimes we have to open up that closet and deal with it. And I think right now, with all the stuff that's going on, COVID and social change and the financial situation, I think that closet has been thrown wide open, and now we're staring at this mess. And the only thing that I can say to you is that it's time to go through it and take your time and let go of the things that you don't need anymore. Life is changing, and we need to kind of pivot. And so it's okay to let go of things that are no longer serving you, and to remember that we can only control what we can control. And so when we have this closet, we're pulling stuff out and it's getting messier than it was when we begin, and we think, oh my gosh, here I'm supposed to be cleaning up stuff and look at the mess I've made. But that's what change is about. It gets messier before it gets better. So we need to just keep moving forward and keep monitoring and just keep pushing through it. And that way, that when you get to the other side, what you're going to have is so beautiful and neat and tidy. But you have to go through this messiness in order to get there, because change is necessary. But like I said, it's okay to know that it's scary and overwhelming. So I just wanted to kind of remind ourselves that, we are all going through change right now. It's, before, when we can teach this any other time, we can say, some people are going through change. Right now, I feel strong enough to say the world is going through change, and whether we like it or not. But I see this as an opportunity for all of us to reevaluate what's important to us and to reintroduce ourselves to who we want to be. And I take this as something to be grateful for, that there's this opportunity for me to change, to reevaluate, and to maybe pivot on something that I should have pivoted on before. Now I'm being forced to, and I see it as a positive thing. So remembering that your attitude makes a huge difference too, because positivity is contagious. All right. Now, I want to talk about how to quantify our goals. So we've put on this 30-day challenge. And, how do we know when we're being successful? And, some people think that we're successful because we made it through the 30 days. And I kind of want to tell you that that's really isn't the full amount of your of how you should qualify or quantify your success. It's really important that we have a clear vision of what success looks like, so that when we get to the end, we know what it is. So we have to be very intentional. So in order to do that, I have a couple of steps in order to make sure that we're very clear on this. The first step is that we need to have a very specific goal. So we have to clearly define what that goal is. So, in the case of some of our participants, it was decluttering. Some was reading. Some was learning a new instrument. And so if that's our goal, we need to clearly define what that is. So right now, let's go with learning an instrument. So if we're going to learn an instrument, how do we know that at the end of the 30 days that we did it? So we need to find some kind of quantifiable, something that we can completely measure. So with learning an instrument, it could be that at the end of 30 days, you can play a song. Decluttering, it could be that you got this one room decluttered, or you wanted to read 3 books in the span of the 30 days. So there needs to be an actual thing that you can say, yes, I did it. Because if it's just, I want to learn guitar and you don't have, well, the end result needs to be, I've learned a song, then how do you know that you really did well? So it's really important that we can put a measurement to whatever it is that we have chosen to do. Another important thing is to make sure that it's achievable. If you choose something and it's you're not able to actually do it because it's maybe such a big goal for the time frame, or you have big challenges. So learning the guitar, I mean, easily to think you can learn the guitar, but if you don't have a guitar to practice on, then it's not really achievable. So it's important that we make sure that we have the ability to do this. Another thing is, if we wanted to learn a new language, can we learn a new language in 30 days? Probably not. Can we do it in 3 months? Well, that's a possibility. And so it's really important that we set goals that are achievable. Now, we did a lot of talking about why, especially last week, because I really believe strongly in the why. And this goes back to when we choose a goal, that we need to make sure that it's relevant to what we want to achieve in life. Because sometimes, I mean, a 30-day goal is a pretty big goal, but some people, and I'm sure you guys are among those, will have a bigger goal, a goal to have something, accomplished by 2020. Or so because of that, we need to make sure that it's connected to our why, because if we're going to spend this amount of time on something, we really want to make sure that it's moving us in the direction that we want. So we need to check in with ourselves and make sure that it is relevant to the success we're looking for. And time sensitive. So in this challenge, we've already set that for you. We said 30 days. But truly, whenever you set a goal, it's important that you pick a time frame for it. So any goal you have should always have a date. And whether that is, I need to get this done in 1 hour, or by the end of this week, I want to, complete this, or by the end of 2020, I want to have $1,000 saved. It needs to be a date put to everything, because if you don't, it's so easy to go, you know what, I'll work on that tomorrow. And before you know it, a year has gone by. So these are just really easy steps to be very specific, make sure it's measurable, that you can actually, it's achievable, that is relevant to what's important to you, and that you've put a date to it, so it's time sensitive. And that's what we call SMART goals. And it's just a simple way of just making sure you have a really clear picture. Now that we have a clear picture, how do we make sure that we accomplish it? So we want to begin with the end in mind. So if we have a goal, we need to look ahead and go, what does it mean to accomplish this? So again, we talked about that song. We want to have one song done. We want one room done. We want 3 books done. So that tells us what we need to do. We've got 30 days in this case. We need to break it down. We need to have milestones. So it's like we go on a trip and we need to know where we are right now. Well, okay, I don't know how to play the guitar. And where I want to go, I want to learn one song to play around the campfire now that we've got this glorious weather. So in order to do this, I really need to make sure that I break it down. So if I have 30 days, how would I break it down into 4 weeks? At the end of my week 1, what do I need to do? At the end of my week 2, what do I need to do? And so by doing this, it makes it a little bit easier to take those big goals and scrunch them down into something small and bite-sized. And personally, when I have my weekly goals, I actually break them into daily goals. So to ensure that I'm on track by the end of this week, by Sunday, what do I have to do each day? And the cool part about that is that when I get to the end of the week, I can look back on the week and say, okay, am I where I'm supposed to be for week 1? And if I'm not, and as we said, it's 30 days, 30 minutes for 30 days, maybe because I missed a day or two, I need to add to my time frame for this week to get caught up. So maybe instead of doing 30 minutes for the next week, I'm going to do 45 just to get caught up because I missed a day or two last week. And that way it keeps me on track. And if I continue to do this and I'm being intentional and I'm using that measurement, then I am going to hit my goal at the end of 30 days. And in the end, that's what we want for you guys. We want you to take that goal and smash it out of the park and complete it, because you were intentional, you put aside, you blocked that time, and you knew what success looked like. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's not letting me go forward. Hold on one second. There we go. So we were talking about the milestones. Break it down. You know what your goal is. You know, you've already decided what it looks like at the end. What are the steps to get there? Because when we're on that trip and we're heading towards where we want to go, you know, we look for milestones. Oh, McDonald's is on the left, the church is on the right, and that's when we know we're going in the right direction. Same with the goals. So like I said, break it down. What are the milestones? Make sure you're hitting them. And because you know what the milestones look like, you can now make good choices on the way there, right? You can say, oh, I do need to spend a little bit of extra time because I need a little bit more work on this area. So that's why it's important to not only know where you're going, but have the milestones and check with yourself on the path. In this case, it's 30 days. So check in every week, make sure you're on the right path. The next thing I want to suggest is community. You know, they talk about the most important thing is the 5 people that you spend the most time with. By spending that amount of time with people, you become the average of those people. So you really want to be picky. You really need to be picky when you look at the people you hang out with. And, you know, you've heard misery loves company. And that's the problem, is that we end up taking on the characteristics of the people that are around us. So we really want to make sure that we're always around people that are happy, are positive, that are driving towards what their best life looks like. And when we do that, then we have again, a strong ability to get where we want to go. So surround yourself in supportive people. And as you saw in our Telegram group, I am so thrilled to see the amount of positivity that's in there. I love when people share how they're doing. I love when they share that when they're not doing so great. Because if you notice, the community jumps in and is right there to give suggestions of how they could do it differently, or perhaps it's a book that they should read that will help them on their journey. And so everyone is sharing and giving encouragement. And what's also really neat is that when someone accomplishes something, do you see the celebration? And I mean, it's not even you going, hey, yay, I did it. It's people going, hey, Lisa, you did an awesome job. Look at what you did. That looks great. And so it's just, again, it's so motivating. And once you get going and you get that positivity going, it's momentum. And then it just makes you want to take on even more. Andrea had that goal of just doing her office and getting it all nice and zen. I mean, she's on to the next few rooms. And so once you get going, it gets easier to do stuff and it gets easier to keep hitting all those goals. So I just want to suggest to you that surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people, some people that can hold you accountable, you hold them accountable, and that way you will skyrocket your success. So that's it for me this week. I'm just going to stop sharing. All right. And I'm going to throw it back to you, Jamie.
I literally unmuted myself so I could clap and you could hear it. That's where we're at right now. I was like, yeah.
What? We are on week 3. So we're getting to the end. And I want people to check in with themselves and, like I said, do what you got to do to hit that goal.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's super, super real, right? It's super real. We cannot deny what is happening in the world, that this is unprecedented, unbelievable times, and staying grounded to those actual measurable marks makes such a big difference. I love that. I have to tell you, I was watching a Dane Cook replay of a comedian. He was a comedian. I didn't know him before this, but he was really big in like 2003, and he was sharing how somebody invited him to a party and then gave him directions, and he was expressing his frustration at when people give bad directions, because it's like, oh, turn left at the, oh, there it is, and if you hit the railroads, you've gone too far. Oh, You've already hit them. And I was confused because I forgot what it was like when we had to actually give directions to people to get to your house. Now you punch it into Google Maps, you punch it into thing. And how often are we in life on autopilot? Being like, someone else will figure that out. The government will make it happen. The politicians know what's best. My teacher knows what'll do, and they'll know. The police know best. That's not always the case. We have to check in and recognize what our milestones are and what directions we're giving to our own life, and nobody can do that but us. So I love what you have to say. Thank you so much, Lisa. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Now, what's really powerful that Lisa was talking about was the AIC Achieve Inner Circle. When we first launched this last month, this was our pilot project. This was our beta baby. We were giving it a run, seeing the results. And what ended up happening was that people had tremendous results. The community that emerged from it was extraordinary. It was too great for us to let go. It was. And this month, it's only continued to grow. We've hit more countries. We brought on new faces. There are people who continue to evolve with us. And that's the reason why we kept it going for this month. Going forwards, what this looks like, the Achieve Inner Circle, really, this is our beta. If this is our beta baby, the Achieve Inner Circle is the next level, right? It's a refinement. It's more content that's tailored to you. It is a closer knit circle because the truth is that this program, this 30-day program that we offer, is a course that we also programmed to sell to a greater audience. So you guys are getting first looks at it before it gets even bigger. And that's why we're inviting you guys to be a founding member with our Achieve Inner Circle, because we won't be running the Achieve Growth Challenge next month. And if you got value from the community, from the group chats, from these people who are going towards their goals and being surrounded with other people who are moving forwards, then we would love to have you a part and stay connected with us and stay plugged in. So that's officially launching in July. If you haven't already seen an email for it, I'm sure we'll be sending another one, but connect in with us because your voice matters. And if you are passionate about pursuing your goals and achieving big things, then link arms with us and come with us because we're not stopping this train. It's too good. I'm going to open it up in a second, but first we're going to officially wrap up. We're just about at our time, and we are going to finish with an affirmation. Yes, Andrea.
Yeah. So Jamie, I'll just wrap up because you're right. We're 1 minute to go. Yeah. And last week it was so powerful. So thank you both. Just reinforcing there's a saying, alone I can go fast, together we go further. We really want you to go further with your success, that you can all be living your best life. We can all be living our best life. But to do that, we need to reinvent ourselves. So last week, it was so powerful when we shared the affirmation. So I'm going to ask you to join us. The affirmation is, I have the power to reinvent myself. So if we could say that together, I have the power to reinvent myself. I have the power to reinvent myself. Go reinvent yourself. As Jamie said, we're going to we're officially over. Next week is our wrap-up celebration party. Last month, it was amazing. This month, you're in for an even better treat. Well, now that you know what success looks like, how to quantify it, next week, we're going to be talking about the successes, share successes, celebrate our successes as a community, and then talk about how do you sustain that success. It's great that we've gotten started, but how do we sustain what we have already started? So if you need to drop off, see you next week. Same place, same time. We'll keep this open for another 15 minutes. So thanks for joining.